Today we're going to talk about the slope formula. Please follow along with your yellow notes papers. To get started, let's just review a little bit. What if I asked you to find the slope of a line passing through the points -2, -3, and 2, 3? We haven't done a problem like this before. What do you think you might do? Well, hopefully, since you've had a little bit of time to think about it, what you might have said is, well, let's go ahead and plot the points on the graph, and let's draw the line. So when I want to graph the point -2, -3, remember the first number is my x, and the second number is my y. So first I'm going to move along the x-axis 2 places to the left, then I'm going to move along the y-axis 3 spaces down because it's -3. And so this right here is the point -2, -3. Now let's plot this point 2, 3. So 2 is my x, 3 is my y. I'm going to start at the origin. I go 2 to the right, and then I go up 3. So now what I have is I actually have 2 points on my line. So the next thing we could do is we could draw a line connecting those 2 points. So let me get my line drawing tool out. It's doing it in white for some reason, so give me just a second to try to figure this out. All right, so now that I've got my line drawn connecting those 2 points, now I can go ahead and apply what we've already learned. So I've got my line, I've got my 2 points. I'm going to count my rise over my run. So I would go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I would go to the right 1, 2, 3, 4. And so because slope is rise over run, I would have my slope is 6/4, and if I've simplified that, that would be 3/2. So if I'm given 2 points, one strategy I can use is to plot the points, connect them, and calculate the rise over run like we've been doing. So it seems like that would work out perfectly. I wouldn't need any other strategies to do that. But what if I give you this problem? I want to find the slope between the 2 points, -723, 59, and 481, -260. Now I've got a little bit of a problem. These 2 points won't even fit on this grid that I have here in front of me. The numbers are too large, and who would want to count squares from a -723 and a +481? So when the numbers are small, we can just use our old strategy, but we're going to need to have another strategy for the points being large. So let's go back and let's look at this previous problem right here. So if you remember in this problem, our top number was 6 and our bottom number was 4. Let's look at where those come from to see if we could come up with some kind of a formula. So let's start with the 6. Where did that come from? Well, I was down here at -3, and I had to move up towards a +3. So I wanted to find the distance from a -3 to a +3. So one way I could do that is I could subtract these 2 y values, this 3 and this -3. If I take the 3 minus the -3, I would get the 6, which is that vertical distance right here. So now let's take a minute and let's look at how we get this 4 that we got in the bottom. Well, what I'm trying to do is figure out how far is it from this -2 over here to this +2. So I'm trying to find the difference between these 2 numbers here. So I could take the 2 and subtract the -2 to figure out the distance between them. 2 minus a -2 is +4. So that's one strategy that I could use where I wouldn't have to actually even draw the picture at all. I can subtract the y values, and then I can subtract the x values, and that would give me my slope. So that's going to go ahead and lead us to another way to calculate slope if all we're given is 2 points, and we're not given an actual graph of a line. So when we have a situation like this one right here, we don't have to go graphing and counting 1,000 or more squares. That just isn't practical in real life. So let's take some notes on your yellow note sheet. So at times we'll need to find the rate of change of the slope, but we won't have a graph to look at. So I just stated that it's helpful to have a formula that we can use. So you can fill in the word formula. So we've already talked about slope is rise over run. And I just kind of showed you that that rise is the change in the y values, and the run is the change in the x values. So it's the change in the y over the change in the x. Sometimes you'll see that in math textbooks where they'll use this triangle symbol, change in y over change in x. And that triangle symbol is the Greek letter delta, which means change. So because of these different ratios, the formula for slope is going to be something like this. We're going to take the second y value in our ordered pair that we see and subtract the first y value, and we're going to put that over the second x value that we see minus the first x value. So let me review how this is going to be given you. You're going to be given an x and a y and an x and a y, 2 different points. We'll call our first point the first x, first y, and we'll call our second point the second x, second y. Sorry, it's hard to write with this. And we're going to take this y minus this y, and then we're going to put that on the top right here, and then we're going to take this x minus this x, and that's going to go on the bottom. The only trick's going to come in when we start getting some negative numbers in our coordinates for our points, because then we already have the one negative sign in the middle. We might have another one after that, so we have to be very careful. All right, so let's keep moving on with our notes. Another way that we might have to calculate slope is from a table. So when we see a table of values, we want to choose any 2 ordered pairs from the table. So if it's not labeled, remember that the first value that we see will be our x value, and the second value that we see will be the y. So as we see in the table here, my first values are x, my second values are y. The x is said to be the independent variable because it isn't affected by anything else. But the y is always affected by the x, and we'll see that more as we get into equations of the line. So again, x will be first, y will be second. What we're going to do is we're going to look at a table, and we're going to pick any 2 ordered pairs and use them as our points. So let's look at this first example, example A. I'm looking at all the different ordered pairs that I would have from this table. So I could have 0, 5. That comes from this x and this y. I could have 1, 5.5. That's another ordered pair. I could have 2, 6. And I could have 3, 6.5. Again, each of these comes from each column of the table because the first row is x and the second row is y. So I want to pick any 2. So for me, I like to avoid decimals and fractions. So I think I'm going to pick this pair and this pair, which comes from these 2 columns. And I'm going to go ahead and find the slope by labeling them. So I'm going to use this as my first x, this will be my first y, this will be my second x, this will be my second y. And now I'm going to apply my formula, which says the slope is the second y minus the first y over the second x minus the first x. So I like drawing arrows to help me out here. So I have second y minus the first y, so that will be 6 minus 5 over, and then I'm going to have the second x minus the first x, so that is 2 minus 0. So this gives me 1 over 2, and I'm done. My slope is 1/2, and the rate of change is 1/2 from the values in that table. Now let's go ahead and let's look at example B. Again, this table gives me 4 different ordered pairs. I have 2, 1, that comes from this row because this is my x, this is my y. I have 4, -1. I have 6, -3, and I have 8, -5. I just want to pick 2 to find the slope. So you can pick any 2. None of these really is any different than the other. So let's just say I pick my top 2 rows and those 2 points, which would be these 2 right here. So I'm going to go ahead and write my points down, 2, 1, and 4, -1. And then I'm going to label them. This is my first x, first y. This is the second x, second y. And I'm going to use my formula. Second y minus the first y. So I'm going to be a little careful here. I see some negatives. So my second y is -1. We always have this minus sign here. And then my first y is 1. So I have -1 minus 1 over. Now I'm going to do my second x minus my first x. So that's 4 minus 2. If I simplify the top, I get -2. And if I simplify the bottom, I get +2. And that just simplifies down to -1. If you would have chose other points, you still would have gotten the exact same answer. Because remember, the slope is a constant rate of change for your line. So we'll get the same answer no matter which 2 points that you choose. All right, so whenever we're given an ordered pair, I think it's really important that you take an extra second and label your x and y ordered pair to make sure you do the formula correctly. Technically, it doesn't matter which you call the first x and first y, and which you call the second x, second y. But you have to be consistent in the order that you subtract. So if you subtract from right to left, like I've been showing you, like this direction here, you have to go right to left for the y's and right to left for the x's. You could go the other way. You could go left to right and subtract, but you have to subtract the same exact way for the x's as you do the y's. So let me show you what I would like you to do. So problem number 2. Let's start off, let's label our values. So this is my first x, this is my first y. This is the second x, this is the second y. I'm going to take y2 minus y1, 7 minus 4, over x2 minus x1, 1 minus 2. So I get 3 over 1. So my slope is, 3 over -1. So my slope is -3. Take a minute now and try examples 3 and 4, and let's see if you can get the correct answers. Hit play when you are ready. Okay, let's see how you did number 3 and 4. Number 3 should be -1/2, and number 4 should be +1/2. Noticed how I labeled my points, x1, y1, and x2, y2, like that. Okay, and then I drew my arrows, and I followed the same exact order. I went right to left subtracting my y's, and right to left subtracting my x's. All right, hit pause, try the next 3, number 5, 6, and 7, and hit play when you are ready. Okay, you can check your work with my answers that are in front of you. Number 5 should have been -4. Number 6 should have been 0. It is okay to have 0 in the top of a fraction in the numerator. Remember, 0 in the numerator is okay. It is not okay to have 0 in the denominator. That's like n over o, not okay. 0 in the top basically means when you're looking at these points right here, they had the same y values. So when you take y minus y, you're going to get 0. Whenever points have the same y values, it means that it's a horizontal line and we have a slope of 0. So remember, 0 fun. So horizontal line is a slope of 0. Whenever 2 points have the same x values, if you would plot those 2 points and connect them, they would make a vertical line. And remember, a vertical line is undefined, like Soap Guy would say. 0 in the bottom of a fraction is not okay. It's that horrible algebra curse word, undefined. Please go ahead and try number 8 and number 9. See if you can generate points from the table and find the slope between them. Remember, when you're looking at a table and you're trying to find the slope, you only have to pick 2 points. Try the last 2 problems on the page and hit play when you are ready. Okay, let's check and see how you did with the word problems. So I went ahead and labeled my 2 columns as x and y, and I labeled my first x, first y, second x, second y, and actually wrote my points out like this. I applied the SOAP formula of y2, the second y minus the first y, over the second x minus the first x, and that gave me 0.99 over 1, or 99 cents per song. In the second table, again, I labeled my sides, my 2 columns, x and y, and I just picked my first 2 rows to generate my points. I applied my formula, which was using the second y minus the first y over the second x minus the first x. I got negative 120 over 2, or negative 60.